The unseen roots of professional stagnation across workplaces, a common question echoes in the minds of many. Why aren't the raises, promotions, or recognition they feel entitled to materializing? For those clocking hours in a company, a quiet frustration often brews, resentment over a paycheck that feels too thin, irritation at a lack of appreciation, or a mental tally of contributions gone unnoticed. While it's tempting to point fingers at external factors, a stingy boss, a competitive market, or an indifferent system, the truth runs deeper. Beneath these surface grievances lies a subtle psychological force, one woven from the threads of conscious discontent and subconscious beliefs, quietly sculpting the reality experienced. This dynamic doesn't announce itself boldly. It simmers below the radar, where negative thoughts about salary, status, or treatment take root. Left unchecked, these feelings don't stay dormant. They erode an invisible bond, a sense of connection to the organization where days are spent. The shift might not show in obvious ways at first. Tasks get done, schedules are met, deadlines honored, yet something changes. An energy withdraws, a loyalty fades, a belonging dims. This internal disconnection ripples outward, setting into motion a universal principle, the law of action and reaction, extending beyond physics into the realm of thought and emotion. The action of thought, the reaction of reality. Thoughts act as the spark, the initial action radiating from the mind. Whether recognized or not, they carry a charge, influencing posture, tone, and responses to daily challenges. A steady stream of negativity, believing the pay is unfair, the effort unseen, or the role undervalued, doesn't remain contained. It seeps into behavior. A sigh in a meeting, a half-hearted effort on a project, a clipped exchange with a colleague. These cues, subtle as they may be, send a message. The surrounding environment, superiors, peers, the company itself, serves as the reaction, reflecting back the energy projected. Over time, this interplay solidifies, aligning external circumstances with the internal narrative. The outcome can feel unjust, a raise denied, a promotion bypassed, or even a sudden exit mandated by a supervisor. What seems like an external slight often traces back to an earlier, self-initiated shift. Months of festering resentment might culminate in a moment that feels abrupt, a pink slip, a harsh review. But the groundwork was laid long before. The subconscious, convinced of being underappreciated or out of place, begins firing the first shot, loosening ties to the role. The manager's decision becomes the final echo, not the origin, of a process driven by thought. In this way, the disconnection starts within, manifesting as a reality that matches the belief. The mirror of the external world. This isn't about pinning blame on individuals or suggesting a grand conspiracy among leaders. Colleagues and bosses rarely sit plotting against anyone. They're more like instruments in a larger symphony, responding to the notes already played. The outer world functions as a mirror, reflecting what's been set in motion internally. If the mind silently declares, "This place doesn't value me," that conviction shapes how effort is offered and received. A guarded demeanor might deter a mentor's interest. A lack of enthusiasm might dim a team's trust. The reaction, less support, fewer opportunities, aligns with the action of those thoughts, not as punishment, but as a natural consequence. Contrast this with a different approach. Imagine two workers in identical roles, earning the same pay. One harbors discontent, slumping through tasks with a barely concealed frown, signaling disengagement. The other sees the job as a stepping stone, tackling work with pride and imagining a future of growth. Over time, their paths diverge. The first might stagnate, overlooked by a busy supervisor. The second might catch a leader's eye, earn a recommendation, or land a chance to advance. The difference lies not in luck or favoritism, but in the energy each projects and the response it elicits from the world around them. Empowerment. Through mindset, this phenomenon carries a liberating flip side. Thoughts aren't passive. They're active architects of experience, fixating on what's missing: a bigger check, a title, a nod of praise, anchors the mind in scarcity, and that vibration attracts more lack. Resentment breeds a cycle of frustration, subtly pushing away the very rewards sought. Yet the reverse holds equal power, shifting focus to abundance and worth rewrites the story. Instead of dwelling on deficits, attention turns to contributions. The skills sharpened, the effort poured in, the quiet wins notched along the way. A mental image forms, thriving in the role, respected, rewarded. This isn't wishful thinking. It's a practical shift with real impact. When gratitude and confidence take hold, they shine through. Posture straightens, initiative sparks, interactions warm, colleagues sense the change, managers register the commitment, opportunities, raises, promotions, recognition begin to emerge, not because the world bends magically, but because engagement with it transforms. The subconscious, once a quiet saboteur, becomes an ally, aligning with a vision of growth. The energy radiated draws in circumstances that mirror the value claimed within. Crafting a new blueprint, the mind's role as a builder of reality offers a clear lesson. The blueprint matters. Negative thoughts sketch a plan of disconnection, scarcity, and stagnation, and the world follows suit. But a conscious pivot, replacing resentment with resilience, doubt with belief, draws a different design. Picture a worker polishing a desk, not with bitterness, but with pride, mentally affirming their potential. Or a team member facing a setback, choosing to see it as a lesson, not a slight. These small acts of focus, repeated daily, reshape the internal landscape, and the external one shifts in kind. Practical steps amplify this. Gratitude can be cultivated, listing 3 contributions each day, no matter how minor. Visualization can sharpen, imagining a paycheck reflecting worth, a title earned, a handshake of thanks. Action seals it, taking on a project, asking for feedback, showing up fully. Over time, these threads weave a new pattern. The office becomes less a battleground and more a proving ground. Raises and recognition don't arrive as gifts from above. They flow as reflections of a worth embraced and expressed. The partnership of mind and world. The interplay between thought and outcome reveals a partnership. The mind initiates, the world responds. A seed of discontent grows into a harvest of the same. A seed of abundance yields plenty. The choice lies in what's planted, nurturing a mindset of value, seeing the role as a canvas, the effort as a brushstroke, invites the world to paint back with opportunity. It's not about forcing change outward. It's about aligning inward, trusting that the reaction will follow. When this shift takes root, the question of why not more fades, replaced by a reality that mirrors the worth already claimed.